Welcome back, everybody, to the Rookzer0 Drawcast. It is October 9th. I'm Rookzer0. Today is the free draw. There is a link to the Aggie.io software that we were hanging out in today over in the general tag. Yeah, over in the Discord. There we go. We're up and running, and it's draw day, so huzzah. How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's doing well. I'm with Druid and Sia today. Yeah, I get that a little bit. We did a lot of push-ups yesterday playing Among Us. That was pretty crazy. It's Free Draw Friday, so I guess I got to start by drawing a rugby. I think that's going to be my go-to warm-up from now on. Maybe. I don't feel like I've perfected rugby yet. I feel like I'm constantly drawing dim different. How's your October been going? Molit, welcome. Welcome to the YouTube chat. Let's see what's going on here. I don't think I've been on any orcs either. I've just been doodling, trying to get my ink fingers back, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but I guess so. I guess you do get ink everywhere. I tried to bust out a few different brushes. There we go. And basically I dug into my collection of pens that I never use. And I spent yesterday playing with a few like actual like brush tip pens, and I don't do those hardly ever. My pen pressure is just terrible. So that's something I have to work on. But you know, that's kind of the point. Getting used to using different inking things. Usually do a lot of sketches with pencil and then I don't ink them. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll start doing that more. That could be a fun Thursday thing too. It's just traditional drawings. I just put the ear in front of his eyeball. That's super weird. Wait. I think the fangs go down. Fangs go down looks better. What did somebody want? Someone wanted like a pumpkin? Oh, that's right. So people were asking for a trick-or-treat rugby, to which my response was just like him in a ghost costume. Make the little nose. And then we'll put the bugbear fluff here, and then the feet. How's it going? How is it going? What's your favorite color? What is your favorite color? Favorite color? I don't know. I guess purple. I guess I draw a lot of purple. Do a lot of purple stuff. Purple's a good one. A lot of purple. Dragoons. Every time I draw rugby, I have to do push-ups. I feel like maybe eventually, yeah. Right now, I think I need to draw him more. But then again, maybe I just need to draw Rook more too. Draw a little. Dragoon. Every time I draw a skull, do a push-up. Every time I draw a dragoon, do a push-up. You know how it is. Every time someone tells me to draw a mimic, that's not a good way to do it. People would just do that nonstop. Wow, every time I talk about mimics, that makes more sense. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, as soon as I said no more mimics, people just started constantly asking for mimics because, I don't know, people are trolls. Yep. So edgy. Oh no, I didn't think about this. How would rugby hold a... Here we go, I got it. Little pumpkin. I'll give him a little knee. There we go. I did hear something like that. That was weird. Did I do the... Oh, I made a sad pumpkin. There we go. Da, 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 da. That's not Halloween music. I hope that's in the Creative Commons. I definitely can't sing the Harry Potter stuff. That was supposed to be Dance the Sugar Plum Fairies, I think. Okay, since this is a Halloween bucket and not an actual pumpkin, I'm gonna go ahead and make the teeth and the eyes black instead of glowy. You can't find a reason to make a necromantic helmet? Well, if you made it in the lore that it does this thing, but you can't understand why someone make it, then it probably doesn't make sense. I mean, why would someone... You got to ask yourself why someone would want to destroy society, unless they, made a mistake in it. Well, I mean, that's... So you're discovering... Basically, you're running into something I see a lot with, like, first-time design students, is they find something that's really cool, but then they don't have a reason for it, right? That sounds like the issue you're having. And it sounds like you have your answer. Why was there a war, though? Like, is it like too overpowered for your campaign or something, or? Oh. Yep. There's definitely power levels. I have a new video coming out soon that I had to think about that a little bit, but really, I think the best thing you can do with kind of creating objects and letting your players create things is You know, the first time something like that was created, it was done with 100,000 people and what's the crap? I was trying to make a Full Metal Alchemist reference. The first time they made the Philosopher's Stone, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched Brotherhood, get the hell out of here. It literally took like an entire civilization, right? Like they condensed a whole group of people into a stone. I made one encounter with a bridge mimic over a sandy pit full of giant scorpions. Good times. That sounds excessive, but I like it. I like where your head's at. But the point I'm getting to is basically the first time you make the Philosopher's Stone, like it took all these resources and this huge plot, and then for a character to just be like, I'm gonna make that too. It's like you can't. You could make something close or something in the same vein. So if they want to make this lich mask that can summon the undead, like great, let them make it. It only summons one guy until they somehow amp it up, right? Like you control the gate. I think is what they call it, the level gate of items. So, yeah. Should a pumpkin have a nose? I don't know if this pumpkin should have a nose. Yep. I had to ask that the other day. I asked my friend that was DMing. He gave me these two daggers. He's like, they can only be used by evil characters. And I'm like, no one in our party is evil. And I'm like, are these evil? Like, are they actually things that are going to just erase our minds? Like they're sentient? And he gave me an answer that was yes and no. And I'm like, okay, great. And I just threw him into a pit of annihilation or a sphere of annihilation. It's like, I'm not even going to mess with these. I'm done. Like it's that sounds like pretty generic lich stuff, which is good. I like it. Should I? What else can I do to make? I gotta fix this foot. This is actually turning into a pretty good sketch. I like this. Where is this going? Well, we started this conversation with why did I do this, and now it's like, oh, but by the way, it's fine, and I've done it a whole bunch. So I think we've been bamboozled into listening to your stuff, which is fine. But you can also just tell us about it without making it a question, because I thought I was trying to answer a question. So what else does this do, or do you not want to share what the helmet does? Because I feel like we're just teasing it out slowly over time. Gotcha. Sounds like you got it pretty fleshed out. I mean, I think you're pretty close. Yeah, maybe give the original guy that made it a name, like Captain Crunch. It's the necromantic helmet of Captain Crunch, and then you're good to go. And then if people are like, roll me a history check on Captain Crunch, and they're like, nope, he's too old, no one knows. That has some connotation, but it's your world, man. Do what you want. Oh, I'm so excited for the Dresden book. Oh, is it the 8th? Yes, I can get the Dresden book today. I'm so excited. Yeah, the new book came out on the 8th, so I have to go pick that up. Well, it came out earlier. My Audible credit got refreshed on the 8th, so now I'm gonna go get that. I'm gonna get that today, and I can listen to the new Dresden book. I'm super excited. Speaking of the Merlin. Do. Okay. Spooky Halloween! Alright, welcome, Lotus School. Doing okay. That's good. There's a yeah, Asmodeus was designing a necromantic helmet. Well, has designed a necromantic helmet, but won't tell us about it, except that he hasn't designed it yet. So it's like, well, what's the point? Okay, so you just have to draw it. That's good. I don't. I'll actually have to go back and look at that. I don't like that line. Let's just keep that one. I think I'm missing something here. I feel like I'm missing something here. Excuse me. My allergies are slowly fixing themselves after I replaced all the filters in my house. Probably didn't help that I was just... Oh, are they? That's a bummer. Yeah, we had all those fires. Everything got covered in ash and soot, and then I had to go clean the gutters, and just like everything was just dirt and crap the last few days. No fun at all. But you know, that's okay. Ace, welcome back. I drew your pumpkin rugby that you wanted to see. So you have to let me know what you think. I don't know why I said that with so much vitriol. I thought it was a good idea. Hey, you know that thing that I thought was great? I did it. So, fuck you. Okay. Yep, that's it. It's that time of year. I went to... Oh, I guess maybe a lot of people have... Crap. I went to change the filter in my heater, which... And after all that smoke and crap, I pulled out the thing and it was just like black, and I was like, oh, that sucks. And then I went to get a new one and there weren't any, and I was like, oh, crap. So I was smart enough to like I'm usually pretty good about that kind of stuff, like not letting stuff run out like that. But I had an empty box of filters, like in the same spot where the filters always are, but I didn't replace it when I grabbed the last one last time, and I was just like, smooth move, like great job. And now I'm paying the price by coughing and sneezing my brains out. So, be prepared, people. Be prepared. Buy those filters. Buy them before you need them. Yep. Proper furnace care is highly important. Yep. Yeah, so we're gonna stop doing the art, and we're gonna start turning this into a home renovation channel. And you know, let's start with furnace care. Furnace care is very important. Oh, this is burning out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's super bad. That's better. Well, I hope it wasn't actually gas. I hope it was just like burnt servos, because... Good, that's good. The weird electrical smell. What happened to us like 2 years ago? No, was it 2 years? No, maybe it was just last year. We had the furnace just stop working, and I'm like, what the crap is going on here? And I'm usually pretty good about fixing that kind of stuff. And I couldn't, and I was like, I don't want to buy a new furnace. That would suck. And then I called the company that installed it years and years ago, and they came up, and they're like, this is super dirty. When was the last time you got this cleaned? And I was like, damn it. They're like, yeah, you're supposed to service these every year. And I'm like, well, I bought the house 5 years ago, so... And the guy's like, okay, and he cleaned it, and it worked just fine. So I was like, great. Didn't realize that was a thing. And now you know. You gotta learn those things sometimes. It's weird not living in an apartment for once in my life. You gotta learn stuff. Okay. That's awesome. Wait. So is Gilmore's Glorious Goods their trade corporation, or was that just a joke, do you think? Yeah. Maybe I have a Gilmore shirt. I'll see if it has the same copyright on it. Is there anyone involved with the D&D professionally that would have you starstruck? Is there anyone involved with that would have me starstruck? Starstruck, huh? I've met, this is gonna sound pretentious, but it's not. I've met some famous people in my life, and I've met a lot of people in industry before. So I'm not one that gets like fangirly. But I would love to meet, like, the Critical Role crew would be really cool. I'd love to meet Chris Perkins. Yeah. I think that would be really fun. I would love to hang out with a lot of those people. Just talk about D&D and talk about art. But the McElroys would be really fun, yeah. But see, like, even that, like, I don't know if I would want to just sit down and talk D&D with them. Like, I just want to shoot the shit. So I don't know if that's... Yeah, well... I'm bad at having beers with people, but but yeah, no, I mean, like that I think that's a better thing. So I generally don't. Years ago, when I was trying to get a job at Bungie, like right before I graduated from my graphic design school, we went to a PAX and we tried to talk to the Bungie people, because that was our goal. It's like me and all of my classmates were like, let's just go drive to Seattle, go to the Bungie place, and just talk to them. Like, let's just go there and do that. And and first of all, their building isn't listed as like there's no like big Bungie sign and like an entrance for people to come hang out in. So we basically just showed up to an office building, and they're like, "What the fuck are you guys doing here?" And we're like, hey, and they're like, get out of here. We're like, okay, and we left. But we went to PAX later, and we made a really good rapport with some of the people that we were talking there. And when we met him again at PAX, we just talked to him, and we had a lot of fun with it. And the only person's signature I got from Bungie was their head of security, Jerome, because he was a really cool guy, and we just talked to him for a while. And that was really fun. I was like, hey man, can I have your autograph? Because I think that would be a great thing to have, and it's still hung up on my wall. So Jerome, thanks again for not beating the crap out of us and throwing us out of the building. We do appreciate that, and it was really fun. So I'm less inclined to be like, oh my God, it's Matt Mercer. I would just be like, yes, hey, how's it going? Let's talk. I love that idea. Ed Greenwood is active on Twitter. Okay, I need to know that name. I think I should probably know that name. Gotcha. He's one of the writers. Okay. Very cool. Yeah, that'd be really cool. That would be really fun. Trying to think of some other interesting things like that. One of the things, I can't really talk about that story. It's a little too personal. I've had a few friends work in the film industry and stuff. So, while like I don't know, meeting Chris Hemsworth would be really cool, I wouldn't really know what to say to him. That's another thing that could be really funny for starstruck people. But at the same time, like one of my teachers was on what was it called? What was the shoot? Was the Jim Henson Company had a TV show for a while, which is really cool, like a challenge show. And he was on that, and he basically told us like all of these different industry tricks and stuff. And it's like, that's right, like TV shows and movies, like they're just people at the end of the day. Like everybody that gets super amped up about it, it's like, it's a job, and it's weird. And the more I do YouTube videos, like I still don't feel like I've changed at all in the last 4 or 5 years. But I have almost 4,000 subscribers now, and it's like I'm getting kind of famous. I don't know. I don't feel any different than I did. So it's one of those things. Like if you want to meet somebody, reach out to them, say hi to them. Yeah. I was really, really excited when some of my artwork got on the Critical Role TV show thing, like the intermission. That was probably like, I was super amped up about that. Kiri. I did Kiri, and I did the Drow, the Bright Queen. Yep, those both got on the show. I don't know if I have a Caduceus, and I did yeah. 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 I mean, famous people are just people. Go talk to them. They're cool. I hope. Some of them aren't. I mean, they're people, so they could be crappy. But nice autograph pull. Yeah, I really love that autograph. It's great. It's one of my fun things that I own. At that same PAX, I got all of the Rooster Teeth guys to sign a box set of the of Red vs. Blue Season 1, and they were really in I didn't talk to them at all. It was just like, hey, they're like, yeah, great, here you go. And I was like, oh well, okay, bye. I don't care for that as much as I do for the as Jerome's signature. So, yep, it's all about experiencing people. I used to love Everclear, the band Everclear. Yeah, I had to clarify that real quick. And I went to an Everclear concert, and I was like, I love this band. It's so good. It's great. Because, 19, whatever. And I went back, not backstage, but I waited outside to see if I could talk to Art, the band, the main guy. And he came out, and I was like, hey, yeah, I really like that new album. It's great. It's a job. And he's just like, yeah, that's fine. And he literally gave me like the limpest handshake I've ever had, and I was just really disappointed with it. And I was like, oh, like he did not give a crap. And he was just like, yeah, great, okay, bye. And he's just like waving at people. I'm like, there's 4 of us out here, man. Like, stop and say hi. All right, you're busy, whatever. I get it. I'm not gonna like hold it against you, but super disappointed. So don't meet your heroes because they could be assholes. But yeah, exactly. Like I said, he's probably super busy. He was probably sick of being there. It was in a small town, so he was just like, I gotta get out of here. But having that expectation of like people being super amazing is not a good thing because it just lets you down. So they're people. They're people. Understand that they're people. Be happy about it. I'm sure if any of you ever meet me, it would be like, hey, wow, Rook's really boring. When he's not on stream, he just watches cartoons and doodles and stuff. Yeah, wait a minute. What's that? What do you mean you can't handle eating cheese? Get out of here. You've ruined my life. You know. Oh boy. I live in constant fear of letting people down. Highly relatable. All right. That's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with. Wait, I fix? I fix your fur. Yep. For 500 platinum. I like that. Uh-oh. We gotta get that sweet, sweet gill. Did you? Did you guys hit level 30 yet? Oh, really? Okay. Oh, you guys don't have the XP boosters, do you? I didn't think about that. Got it. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, since I've played Final Fantasy 14 before, and I did like a recruiter friend with jump rope back in the day. I have the goggles and some other crap that just gives me XP boost, so I can always catch up really easily. I definitely like the Rooster Teeth content. It helped me get my kids into Halo and play with me, and then the games, the lore, and everything I did. Yeah, the Rooster Teeth guys did a really good job on that. I think them kind of breaking machinima into the worldwide everything really helped. Machinima. Super low. They're really funny dudes, but didn't get to hang out and talk with them, so that was a bummer. But once again, I mean, if I go to a convention and I don't have time to talk to you, I'm sorry. I just I'm not trying to be a dick, but it will probably happen. I used to work at a Game Crazy, and people would come in and just start talking at me about like World of Warcraft and all their different game stuff. It's like sometimes it's like, yeah, this is really cool, and sometimes I'm like, I'm helping 5 people, and it's like, I need, just hold on, please stop. I need a minute. So when people are passionate about something, they tend to go their own speed, and that's okay. I totally get that, but can't always be attentive to everybody at the same time. And I'm sure Matthew Mercer feels like that a lot, because like you see all these things online where he'll stop and like give sage advice to somebody, and it's like I love that about him, that he will do that, and I hope that isn't what people go to him for, because it's like he can't always do that. That's it is taxing to help somebody like that. Just emotionally, it's hard. So. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, definitely. Especially if you are shy, like that can be really, really tough. I'm pretty good at being outgoing, but I'm an introvert at heart. Like I love being at home by myself. It's just like this is good. So going to conventions is really kind of daunting for me, and something I want to do, but it's also like, ooh boy. Hey, Dee Dee, welcome. So. Boop. Yeah, everybody out there, go watch the Artist Arcana video. Make us super famous. How's that doing, by the way? Let's see. Artist Arcana has been out for 1 day. It has 100 views. If every one of those viewers goes and shares it with 100,000 people, we'll be set. Boo. I need to work on my text. I need to work on that. It's not great. Text is hard, yeah. Mind you, I really like doing things like block calligraphy is really fun. Like, I like that kind of challenging perspective shifts in the line. But it's difficult. It's difficult. Burp. My brother got Halo 2 for the OG Xbox. Must have been a great. I worked at a Game Crazy during the release of of Halo 2, and it was bananas. The midnight releases of those games were huge. Huge. Do repair people have mustaches? Is that a thing? You just gotta give him a butt. It's a me. Mario stash. Is that what you're talking about? That's pretty good. Wow. What are those creatures called? We're drawing Rugby, who's our little mascot. He's a goblin bugbear. And let's see. I still think the Jonas Rugby is still pretty funny. The derp Rugby. Burp. We do need to get that artist.com off the ground, though. How do we do that? I've been thinking about make a buff Rugby. Ooh, that would be tough. Because the only thing you can see is his feet. So you'd have to do something like this. And then just like super buff legs. Only leg day. Nope. Done erased his face. Ace has a Patreon. I see this shameless self-promotion on my channel. Well, I'm glad you like him. I think he's pretty funny. Has anyone ever tried a divination wizard? Any options about the archetype? I have not played a divination wizard. Jump Rope did a little bit. What did she do? She played, I guess it was his Pathfinder. She played a divination oracle. An oracle is basically get a blessing and like a boon because of the blessing, but then they also get a curse. So her character was blind and could see the future. That's a thing. Yeah, she worshipped Desna, the butterfly goddess of luck, and I think Desna's a butterfly of god of luck. I mean, she's a butterfly. Sounds like somebody's typing. Can't believe viewers all great. Ouch, my funny bone. What you do? Should give him like really pretty eyelashes. Well, I think that's probably a pretty good rugby sticker right there. Maybe I'll make that for Halloween. Yeah. Does it need some bright orange in there? Do I need to color the pumpkin? I'm gonna do flat colors. I'm gonna do color flats. Okie dokie. So I think I'm going to release the next video on Sunday morning. Just as a random thing. I think I'm just going to throw it into the ether, so keep your eyes peeled for that. I mean, I do like the premieres, but... That's true, yeah. Click that bell. That's good. I appreciate that. Thank you. Should we give... Rugby's just like... You just hopped up on energy drinks and candy. Oh yeah, I should have done like a Dracula rugby. Oh, well, that's what Ace is doing. What am I saying? I was thinking like Bram Stoker style with the red blood armor and stuff. Yeah. If you haven't seen Keanu Reeves get Werewolf Rugby, would be pretty good too. I think he's in that movie. It's Gary Oldman and Keanu Reeves, right? The old Dracula movie. I think it's Gary Oldman. Yeah, it's so good. I couldn't, it's hard to get through that movie. It's really slow. And then I'm like, I'm just going to read the book, and it's even slower. And I'm like, okay, I get it. It's fine. I still want to do it, though. Wowza. I went to a college or a high school that could afford books. That was my Druid impression. For those of you who think that I actually went to a college or a high school that could afford books, because I did not. My Mark Fishbach is showing. I was so poor. I don't know how I feel about this color anymore. I want the eyes to pop from the white sheet. Templar Knight Rugby. My high school could afford books. They were at least 2 decades old. Yeah, exactly. Flea market. I usually choked lolling on about leg day. Yeah, I mean, it's Friday. It's not so much that we're gonna do viewer suggestions, but people can suggest stuff. I don't know, because it's free draw. Like everybody can come draw with us for free. There's a link in the Discord. Well, yeah, if you're. You just gotta click the button. Two clicks, and you're on Aggie. Blah! Oh man, what if he's just got? That's fine. I'm fine with 20 people drawing the same thing. Everybody can draw rugby. I'm totally fine with that. Don't put it on a shirt and sell it though. That's my thing. Or if you do, send me some money. Furless rugby would not be a rugby. It would just be a goblin. What about green? What if you had bright green eyes? I guess he's a goblin, right? So we should probably have like yellow eyes. We can do yellow. How's that look? Is that weird and creepy? Actually, that looks okay. I think that did it. That done did it. Excuse me. Because you told me to put. You told me that I should have blood in them. That was your suggestion. All right. Rugby needs a crew of classic monsters to go trick or treating with. So we got. I like the displacer beast. Displacer cat. Could just do like a vampire mask over here. Blue. I would figure that would be like the best time for monsters to attack, when everybody's dressed like a monster. Grumpy cat looked like this. Make a fat rugby. Yeah, we can do a fat rugby. That could be fun. Veiny red lines in the eyes instead of shade. Just make it. I'm telling you, he's had so much candy. He just can't. Nah. The Jerry vampire's back. Salad Finger's another good one. I like touching rusty spoons. God, the internet was weird 20 years ago. The internet is still weird. There's just less. No, I take it back. There's more stuff to filter out the weird stuff. I don't know. Is that a thing? Is that a real thing? Okay. I'm not sure why I'm drawing this in red. Draculito. That makes sense. Wait. We're going to draw some feet. Bleeder. Okay, let's see. Let's get some feathers. I like fat rugby with the feathers. The feathers are pretty funny. It's like a parakeet. He just sticks feathers in his fur. Look at me, I'm taller now. That's fine. Go ahead if you want to. I need to keep focusing on this for the moment. That is what the voice chat is for. Wham. Okay, you can. I mean, I guess if you're a vampire, there's not a lot else you can do. I thought it was interesting that the Adventure Time decided to make vampires drink red. I never figured out if that was like an actual in-canon vampire thing or something that Marceline just did. Like, do all vampires just drink red? Or was that just her? I think so, yeah. I think there were other vampires in the show. It looks like he's trying to pick his nose with his foot. How do I need to make sure I use the transform button. Okay. Yeah, why, what reminded you of that? The bleeder thing? Gotcha. Yep. Most children's stories were meant to teach a lesson. Or make fun of a king. Grumpy Displacer Beast. It's pretty good. Did Ace go away, or are you just drawn really small? Ace! That used to be my cell phone ring for a long time. Are you still there from Portal? That's pretty good. Pretty good. Yep. Goblins are mostly head. Well, ear's part of the head. Oh, I should make a Verguli rugby. You don't know what a Verguli is? You should look it up. Am I saying it wrong? Draculino? That's not what I was trying to say. Verguli is a pretty weird creature. Really good for a lot of different campaigns. Yeah, it's like a floating vampire head that if it bites you, you turn into a floating vampire head. It's pretty messed up. Okay. Why would you smash it with a hammer? I mean, I guess that's one way to fight him. It's a little out of. Why not be an adventurer? Ah! Man, but not adventuring equipment is expensive. I guess that's not true. There's a lot of... Good. That's something I think we need to talk about more. Basically, like, people writing their backstories are always like, I've slayed 1 billion dragons and I saved the kingdom of Blorb. Oh, I'm a level 1 fighter. It's like, bull crap. You did all those things. You found a sword on the road and now you're level 1. Let's talk about this. I think people have these grand adventures about making their backstories like these huge epic tales, but like, that's the point of the game. Like, the point of the game is to have grand adventures. Right. And so I think there's definitely something to be said about like old adventures, but like that's much better for like a level 5 campaign. If you start at level 5 or 6, it's like, oh yeah, no, I was an adventurer for most of my life and I fought some really weird stuff and now I'm here. And I'm, seasoned. I think a seasoned adventurer really only needs to be like level 3. But when you're starting out in the world, unless you just like lucked your way through the universe, right? Or they did, and they're like, "Oh man, I saw this really cool guy slay a dragon in front of me, and now that's my calling." But I kind of like that with Terry Darrington. She's like, we're talking about killing him and how to kill him. No, we're talking about... Yeah. I'm still of the mind that like you don't really need a backstory to start an adventure. I usually Yeah. Exactly, yeah. I think and that's a good point. Well, it's alright, not everybody has to be good at it. I've read a book about that. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, like anybody that starts a campaign and they're like, and I have a magical blob. It's like that's a +1 weapon to your mind. Like that's the best sword you've ever seen in your entire life. I have done something like that before. I have played a campaign where I actually gave somebody a really, really powerful weapon right at the beginning of the game, but they didn't know that it was basically a cursed weapon, and that was their whole story arc, though. Like, that was the fun part about it, and it worked really well. But... yeah. The thing that made it work for me was that basically no one else knew it was real, and so he, like, just kept hearing voices, and he's like... It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Those are cool campaigns when you get to use, like, incorporate individualized storylines within the narrative. No, I made a custom revolver for them. So we're a gunslinger. Flash is a Percy. No, I love the Pathfinder Gunslinger class. It's really fun. I mean, they're basically ranged rogues, and it's like rogue ninjas with guns, which is kind of fun. So you get a lot of cool stuff, like you get a lot of utility out of your grit points, which I really like. It's pretty close, yeah. Mm-hmm. Which they did a good job of incorporating that. I think that was pretty good. I think the second season just surpassed, didn't it? Didn't it surpass the first season? It's about to. Halfway through, yeah. Yeah. If you haven't listened to All Work and No Play, where Liam and Sam talk about, hey, we're gonna go play D&D, or we just played the first game of D&D together, it's really funny, and people should check that out. It's so good. We have a Dragon Slayer at level 3. Yeah, I mean, like, once you're in a party, you can definitely slay a dragon at any level. But, like, for like having someone come into a party and say, like, oh, I'm an expert at doing this, it's like, then why are you level 1? Like, shouldn't you be level 5 or something? That's really my only issue. License for the GM to mess with you. I have amnesia, and I'm not good at ideas. I have had a lot of people use the amnesia as a way of, like, resetting a character level. And then you, like, slowly unlock it. And we talked about level gating a little earlier today too, I think, but that's a good mechanic for doing that kind of thing. It works really well for high fantasy games because you can just be like, and now you've unlocked your super jump. You remember, and it's like, yay. So yeah. Oh yeah. That's funny. I can hear you just fine. You're saying just basically like the barbarian lost all of his levels because he got beat up too bad. Interesting. That's one way to like respec a character. I kind of like that, and that's a good way to do that. Yeah, Lockhарт's pretty good. I've done something like that where I played I I did this for one shot, and it didn't last after I did it. But basically, you start with like a level 5 wizard, but then take one level in barbarian, and then join a level 1 party, and you're just like, ah! And then when shit gets really like fireball, they're like, what? I've given up my wizardly ways. And they're like, why is he going to be level 6? And it's like, all right, we're done. Make a new character. And it's like, okay, it was totally worth it. Totally worth it for the gag. Totally worth it for the gag. I do still want to make the Stir Mage, though. Like, I'm gonna play that eventually. Is this with one of your changelings? Groups, sorcerer game. I'm in awe. Anti-magic field. Did not prepare today. Keep. I like that. I like that idea. That's funny. I've also done that though. Like I was a ninja, and I took the feats required to use guns, and so that's been really funny to just be like sneaking around and jumping all over stuff and throwing shurikens, and all of a sudden it's just like fuck it and just pull out a gun, and they're like, what the hell? And it's like, I can do this. It's totally legit. Yep, that's the other thing. Dean, yeah. Kill it. Kill it with fire. It's a doppelganger. Get it. No, we... something I really like about Pathfinder is basically the magic system. So you can do stuff like be a rogue and just specialize in wands. And that's been really fun to have players... Yeah, you just have to roll for it. And so it's just... I've had players that are like, I'm a wizard! And they just keep casting stuff with wands. Or like, I'm going to use sleight of hand to try to cast this without people noticing. Or make it look like it's coming out of my fingers. It's like, cool, okay, yeah, it's great. We've had a few NPCs like show up and be that like, I'm really powerful. It's like, you're not. Like, just give me all those wands. Those are great. Yeah, DD and Mole are talking about like one of the groups doing an all sorcerers great game. I'm in awe. That can be really fun. I love having like singular parties. Yeah, like I've done parties with full melee. Like that's all they are. No healers, nothing. Just melee people. It's really really fun. And I've had a few mage games, and it shouldn't be a problem because if your DM is once again trying to kill you, then they can do that regardless of the party. But if you have a cool campaign of all rogues, the DM just needs to build a rogue-centric campaign, and those are really really cool. So yeah, I think that stuff is really fun. I like that kind of gameplay. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, that could be fun. Italian palette camping. Nope. I'm in agreement there. I bet it's pretty great. One of my favorite backstories. One of my favorite backstories was my friend's dwarf Mentes, and his backstory was I woke up in the forest completely covered in blood, and that was it. That was the whole backstory. It was just like, whoa. Yeah, it was crazy. It was really good. And so we literally met the character just running wildly at us. Like, there's a dwarf running out of the forest, completely covered in blood, just screaming wildly. And we're all like, oh, crap, we're going to fight him. And then he's just like, hey, what's up? And we're like, wait, what? It was pretty great. I mean, yeah, that was it. That was the whole story. I just woke up. Nice. I'm new. Yeah, I mean that's pretty good. I like that with Warforged and Weirwoods. Like, there's a lot of really cool little construct things that you can use for players. Super fun. Super fun. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, Alita Battle Angel is a good example of that as the entire story. Mega Man is another good example of that. It's just like, I've been built to do something. Anything before doesn't matter because now I am this new thing. Super good. Super good. It's a great little trope for easy story beginnings. Man, Sonic's story is just so convoluted. Unnecessary. What's Pac-Man's story, right? Like, what? Let's get into that. He's got a family and ghosts in his closet. Is Pac-Man? Yep. My name is Pac-Man. Pac-Man. Wait, what just happened? Oh, I understand. Hey, do what you want. It's free draw day. No, that's fine. Yeah, there's no need for people to draw if they don't want to draw. It's just here for people to draw if they want. Jurassic is so weak compared to 3.5 and most things simply because it's not unstoppable. Yeah, I mean, 5th edition is meant to be accessible, and the Tarrasque in older editions was meant to kill parties that were being assholes, so I totally get that. Gary Gygax was... I mean, it's just... If your intent was to kill the party... Once again, you're playing wrong in my mind, so I don't agree with that. Which, once again, was Tomb of Annihilation was designed by Gary Gygax to shut down his min-maxy players. It's like, oh, you guys think you're super powerful, right? Huh? Well, okay, cool. You die. Yep. We're basically gods. Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's actually the other way around. I think a lot of video games took inspiration from the older versions of D&D more than anything else. Like there's a reason that all those old games have those mechanics, and it's because D&D made this great system for basically number based combat. Like that's what it is, and it's great. They did a really good job. And like fourth edition was so combat heavy that it shifted. People thought that's the way that they wanted to play D&D, and they're like, actually we do really like the storytelling element, and then that's what 5th edition is. So if you want the Tarrasque to be super dangerous and terrifying, great, use the 3.5 rules. Just do it. Like, there's no, if that's your intent, then go for it. Don't worry about like, well, it doesn't say that in the book. I mean, fuck the book. Like, I will say that every day of the week. If you feel like the book isn't doing what you want, fuck the book. Make the game fun. Like that's the whole goal. Is to make the game fun. Ever play with someone who just hates one of the D&D folks as a whole? I've played with a dwarf and an elf hater. Yeah. I mean, no, racism exists in game. Absolutely. I think that's a pretty good trope. Have I played that though? Let me think. In the D&D campaign I'm playing right now, we started by playing the starter kit because this is the first time one of my friends had DM'd. So we're like, let's use the D&D starter kit so you can DM with that, figure it out. I ended up beating the crap out of Gundren Rockseeker because for some reason all of the dwarves in Phandalin, is it Phandalin? I'm getting my, yeah. All think that humans were stupid, and he just kept railing into like, because I was the only human in anything, and they're just like, oh, poor simple-minded humans, and I'm just like, I'm gonna kick the crap out of you, Gundren, and I did, and it was great. I felt really good for it. So that's why things happen. Yeah, some people don't like that. I mean, like that's totally fine too, to have a hyper fantasy game where racism doesn't exist in the world. Is great. So. It's all about your expectations and what you want out of the game, and if that kind of stuff isn't fun to you, or dealing with that kind of stuff is something you want to avoid, avoid it. That's fine too. But Yeah, exactly. We did have something with, like, I play a lot of monster campaigns. My friends like playing monsters, so I kind of blend some of that in all the time. Like I've had people play harpies, and it's just like when they show up to town, people freak out, like really freak out. I've had people that are just straight up like bloodthirsty, curdling things, and like people won't sell things to them. It's like, get out of my shop, get out of here, I'm calling the guards. And it's like you like that's the game. It's like you have to convince people based on your their expectations. They're the common folks' expectation of whatever you are or look like. And sometimes that's even just like worshiping the wrong god. Like if you're a paladin of something that the people don't like, or whether it's, what's some other examples of that? Drow. People love playing Drow, and I'm like, no, I like the idea that normal people just hate Drow. Like, I really love Drow, but I like the idea that they have this reputation, a stigma or reputation for being these evil creatures. Yeah, most Drows are in the books, canonically in the books, a lot of them are, and so that's why I really like that's the general consensus of it. Gygax was always brutal. Yeah, I mean, you have to build the game around it. If one of your characters wants to be a baby Tarrasque, that's definitely doable. But that's going to be a different campaign than like, oh, go slay 5 goblins. It's like there's an astral dreadnought running around. Maybe go deal with it. That kind of stuff. Like that's how the game works. Right. Yeah. See, that would be good too. Like a cult's trying to catch it. We found a baby Tarrasque. We have to go save it. It's just like, yep, that would be cool. See, that's the thing. Like, when someone does stuff like that, and whether or not it's just like, is this? You have to make that world happen, and you have to make it fun for people. So, I like finding those things, and yeah, I just, like I said, with the book, I always like to suggest that the book is a great starting point and a reference for influencing the world. So, once again, if the book says that a race of something is evil, then what you take from that is most people, commonly in the world of the Forgotten Realms, think that. It doesn't mean it's true, but that's the common knowledge for it. Like, the book you have in front of you is basically like something that would be found in a library in the fantasy realms. So, yeah, I think some of the older... What's the thing, like, dwarves pop out of holes in the ground? They say that in The Hobbit. Like, no one's ever seen a baby dwarf. People think that they just pop out of holes in the ground. Like, that's the lore of the world. So you would tell your players that. That's what people think. But then you do find out later that dwarves like to bang, and it's fine. Like, had beards, yeah. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it is because I think you're right. So the beard, because the females have beards, and so that's what people thought. But that's the beauty of it. Is like it doesn't mean that what the book says is real, but it's a general consensus of what is thought in the fantasy realms. Like that's the current level of knowledge, and I really like that. That's how I play. That's how I play my games. Big old bushy beard. If you haven't read Rat Queens and you are of age to read Rat Queens, I highly suggest it. It's a really good comic. Yeah, it is a hashtag not sponsored. It's a comic book that is a D&D campaign that doesn't take itself too seriously that it's not. But it's all in fiction. So like none of them are like I need to use my I need to reroll my stats. Like they don't say that stuff, but they use the terminology like I'm out of spell slots. They do a lot of like really just kind of quirky stuff without breaking the fourth wall. I think is what I really love about it. But it is very much a D&D game, and I really appreciate it for what it is. Spoilers: one of the dwarfs has a beard, and I love it. Highly recommend reading that if you can. almost noon. We almost... Oh, man, I only drew 2 things today. They're good, though. I think I am going to turn... Today's the free draw day. We free drew... Oh, did we draw free today? Use the mobs for a reason they're not supposed to? What do you mean? Oh. Yeah, I haven't had that problem. Maybe it's just... Oh, I see what you're saying. Draw a fat rugby, please. We drew a bunch of fat rugbies. This is a chubby rugby. There's a chubby rugby. Yeah. Is that DD? Is that not what you wanted? I don't know how to do much fatter of a rugby. I could make him chunkier, I guess. I could do this. Rugby is a goblin wearing a bugbear rug. Yep. Yep. Rugby is a goblin wearing the head of a bugbear from a bugbear rug, hence rugby. If you see like that, this is a really weird. Why do I hate that I keep having to explain this. He's a goblin. Yeah. This started because like the thumbnail has the picture of the kobold vendor, because the first few 100 episodes of this, I constantly got suggested to draw goblins and kobolds, and I decided to draw a goblin wearing a kobold, like, you know, like he sells kobold and kobold accessories, cool, and so I'm like, it's a goblin wearing a kobold, and then I was like, what if it's a goblin wearing a bugbear, and then that's what he became. So this is the assistant to the kobold vendor. They both work in the kobold emporium. Yep. The Goblin Slayer Goblin. That's a good way to do it. That's pretty good. I mean, those are fun. Those are always good things. I've had some weird evil campaigns played in my life. Where there's been all kinds of crazy stuff. Yeah, that can be fun. We did that for one campaign. One of my friends is, well, Kevin the Necromancer. He's another recurring character. He had at one point like 30-some skeletons, and he's like, this is getting ridiculous. How can I give these to the other players? And so now we have a system where basically like 2 or 3 of each skeletons goes with each player. So they have like little armies to run around with. It's fun. There's a lot of different ways to do it. I meant a circle rugby. Circle rugby. Here we go, balloon rugby. I gotta give him a little mouth pucker. I can't give him the teeth. Gotta do a little. There we go. You're welcome, Dee Dee. I think that's about it for the day. I'm gonna call it a little early. I do have the new video. I have a new bottomless bag video that should release tomorrow or Sunday, or I could wait till Monday for it, but I don't know. I didn't mean character discrimination, but I'm glad we chatted about it. I meant players biased against elves and dwarves themes in their characters. I've not had that. I've been my friends are pretty open about letting people play whatever they want. I did have one of my friends get really upset and walk away from the table because one of the players was a horse. That was a horse, yes. It was my friend's first time playing, and so he started the campaign. I started having him walk around town, and then one of my friends was like, "Psst, hey, over here." And he turned around, and I'm like, "You see a horse?" He's like, "What do you mean I see a horse?" "There's a horse staring at you in the alleyway." And he's like, "Hey, buddy." And he's like, "Nope." And he just got up and walked away from the table. And I was like, "Oh." And he didn't play D&D with us for like a year or 2 years after that. But really funny. Yep. So that's, other than that, I've not had people deal with that. If you do have people that are mad about like, "I don't want you to play an elf character, that's stupid," it's like, why? Like, if the DM is like has a specific campaign and they don't want to deal with that, that's their prerogative to do that, because the DM is basically, the DM should be making a world where you can play with them. But sometimes it's just things don't fit. It's like, no, this campaign is for this. And so not all campaigns are for all players, and not all parties are for all players. And it's okay to not play a campaign. It's like, okay, well, that doesn't sound like something I would have fun with. I'm gonna wait for the next one, or maybe I'll start my own and we can play that sometime. So. Yeah, and see, that's the DM's prerogative to say that no flying characters exist. And it's like, that's a bummer, because there's definitely some cool ways you can get around that, but it has to be, as much as the DM should make it fun for people to play, it has to be comfortable for the DM to manage. And some people don't want to have to deal with that. Like, some people don't want to have to deal with like lots of math. And I'm a person that has spreadsheets for what I have to roll to jump on people as a dragoon. So it's like, it's all comfort level, and everybody should be having fun. If someone's not having fun, change something. And sometimes that means people don't play with certain people. Like, that happens. Yeah, exactly. So, my workaround would be that all of these cities have like anti-air defenses, and so no one can fly into the city without getting shot down. But that leaves your players the option of maybe trying to fly into the city, with some danger, which is cool. But who knows? There's always options, is what I'm getting at. What your choice is your choice, and if you want to say no flying creatures in your campaign, that's totally cool. Like, do that. But I'm gonna take off for the day. I'm sorry I kind of have to cut you guys off because I do need to bounce here real quick. But thank you all for hanging out today. It was a lot of fun. We got to draw some rugbies, which I always love. I will put these in the Discord and Draw tab if people want to, have pictures of rugby, whatever. That's fine. Thanks for hanging out. Like I said, I'll probably release a video sometime this weekend. If not this weekend, on Monday for sure. It's already done. I just have to decide when to release it. But thanks again, everybody, and stay happy, stay healthy, and we will see you next week. Remember to keep your dice on the table, and we'll catch you then.